right, everybody. I'm Kevin, and this is my cat Cassie. So today we're gonna talk about the topic of World War II. More precisely, we're gonna talk about one of his greatest battle that turned the tide of history. It was the Battle of Stalingrad. So just to do a little context, the World War II started in 1939 when Nazi Germany started attacking Poland. That's bringing to the war the Allies, comprising of France, the UK, all the Commonwealth, so countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the Union of South Africa, and quickly the German Reich was able, with Blitzkrieg, to take about everything compromising mainland Europe. So France, the lowland, compromising of Belgium and the Netherlands. They also take control of the northern part of Europe, such as Denmark and also Norway. After that, it was clearly they were going to take pretty much everything, and that they started the Battle of Africa. Yeah, pretty much everything was going great for the Axis, but in 1941 they decided to do Operation Barbarossa. It was, for most historians, the one of the something that's changed the war, because now the Germany was able to do a battle on two fronts. So they started to attack the Soviet Union, breaking one of the troops they have. They did non-aggression pact. It was called the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact. By breaking this Nazi Germany attacked Soviet Union. The Most of the Red Army was not ready at that time. They was not expecting an attack. So quickly, most of the western part of Europe, of Russia, was able to fall into German hands. So Ukraine, up to the gate of Moscow and Leningrad, two of the most important cities of the Soviet Union. After that, the war started quickly becoming into a stalemate. The German was not able to advance more into the territory because of winter and just the sheer number of division soldiers the Soviet Union has. At that time, Hitler decided to do a new operation to change the tide of battle. So they decide to do an offensive in the Caucasus region, in the southern region of Russia. The operation have two objectives. The first one was to cut off the fuel reserve that they have in the Caucasus mountain. So why was that? Like I said, to cut off the fuel so the Russian will not have fuel for their war machines, so no more tank, no more aviation. And they also wanted that because they themselves, the German, needed to have those resources for their war machine. The second objective, the one we're going to talk about, was the city of Stalingrad. Why? Because that was one of the biggest industrial city in that region, and also the name of the city, Stalingrad, was a symbolic name for the communists, because the name of Stalingrad come from Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union. So because of that, that was really a major city that needed to be taken by the German to blow a strike on the economic power of the USSR, but also to do a moral victory by taking one of these ideological city. So to do this mission, they assigned two army to attack the city: the 6th Infantry Battalion and the 4th Panzer. Two veteran infantry under General Paulus. So first they attack from the south and the north to take in the higher ground of the city, and to be able to start do a barrage of artillery to just destroy completely the city and destroy the Russian defenses. They also do airstrike with the Luftwaffe, the military aviation of the German Reich, to also destroy logical point like fuel depot, ammo depot, and things like that. At that point of that war, the Russian were able to know that a global offensive was going to happen on that region. So they were quickly to start the organization of defense of the city. The general of the Russian side started to drag everyone into the city, into the army. So every male that was becoming conscript, they were giving weapon, uniform, and they needed to fight to defend their city. Also, the children and the women were also put into the army, not for like a soldier role. They were giving trench tools, shovel, just to make trench and like prepare the defense of the city. Every factory that they have building were started to become like real fortress. And because of all the bombardment and the airstrike doing by the German, the city was just like complete ruin. But that was for the advantage of the Russian. Because of that, they were able to hide into the building, the destruction. They know the city better, so they can just hide into the sewer. So it was easy for them. So at the beginning of the Battle of Stalingrad, the Germans quickly advanced into the city with their Panzer, their, well, if you want to know, the tank that they have were greatly more advanced and technologically than the Soviet one. And the troop that the German have in the Sixth Army was veteran of many battles. The battle in France, in Africa, and also in the Kharkov campaign. So they were like veterans, so they knew what they were doing, they were good at it, so they advanced quickly into the city. But what happened at the moment when the Soviet side started losing one by one, going back a little, they started to apply new order to change the tide of the battle. So Stalin himself, the leader of the Soviet Union, issued an order called Order 227. And pretty much the order was no step back. What that mean? No step back was that if a Soviet soldier that was attacking a position enemy, tried to retreat, to go back to his line, there was someone called a commissar that was wearing this hat, that was just there, like with a gun, and to shoot them. So it was like, you go attack the enemy, take the enemy position, and if you go back, I'm the one shooting you. So if you were a soldier at that time, you didn't have the choice. It was charging at the enemy or dying by your own side. So with that order put in motion and just the sheer resistance of the Soviet people, they were able to just stall the advance in the city. So they fight building by building, room by room. They knew that the German soldier was not prepared like to fight in hand-to-hand combat, because every human have a side that like you don't want to kill a person that is in front of you. It's really difficult. Like if you just like with the scope of a gun, it's easy just to forget like they're real human. But if you're face to face and you need to kill each other with like a shovel, a knife, and stuff like that, it's become really difficult. But the Russian, they were so angry that they were losing that war, they were losing so many people, family. They were just so angry that it was easy for them to just attack the Germans. So that was like a point that destabilized the German people. So they quickly were able to stall the events of the city and just like stay at their position. And the river that was behind the city, the Volga, they were also Russian in that side that was able to reinforce the city like with boat. So because there was a stalemate in the city and winter was about to come, the German army that was there, it was difficult for them to win that battle. And at that time of the war, the Russian people were still conscripting and recruiting more and more soldiers. So they were able to put 1 million soldiers to do a new operation called Operation Uranus. The goal of the operation was to attack the German on the two flanks and like to encircle the city, so to trap the German army there. So that's what they did, because the flank of the German army was occupied by allies of the Germans. So Italian troop, Romanian, Hungarian, and those troops were not well equipped. They were morally they were not going good. so it was easy to encircle them. And after that, it was quickly to an end. With encircling the city, they were able to quickly just kill them, and quickly General von Paulus, the one that was controlling the 6th and the 4th Panzer Army, just surrendered to the Russian. So that's pretty much wrapped up the Battle of Stalingrad. It was one of the bloodiest battles too. Approximately 2 million people died in that battle alone. That 2 million is 500,000 for the German, 1 million Soviet soldier, and the rest were just civilian. So it's one of the bloodiest. Just imagine like the greater Montreal region, half of the population there, like in Montreal, Laval, Rosemère, Saint-Eustache, just dead. So that was a lot of people. So anyway, thank you to have listened to me. I'm sorry it was a little bit long and I talk a lot. And if you have a question, just ask me in class. Thank you. Have a good day.